A blood-curdling howl boomed in the distance. Caelan flinched and looked around. He let loose a panicked bolt for the tallest tree, dropped his gear and climbed frantically, but kept slipping back down. Even after his solo summit, trees were still insurmountable. What the fuck was it with trees? It had always been that way, even before it cost him Dad's life. He was tempted to flee back up the mountain, where he would surely die. Caelan spotted a huge rock formation in the near distance. He grabbed his gear and bolted for it. He yanked his rock climbing gear from his pack as he ran up on the rock formation. He secured the harness to himself, strapped an ice axe to his back, coiled a rope around one shoulder, and began climbing, abandoning all else. The howl boomed closer. Caelan nearly lost his grip, then his footing, nearly falling and barely recovering each time by sheer luck. He paused, closed his eyes, took a deep breath. Stay calm. Always. He persevered in a slow, steady manner. After an arduous effort, he crawled onto the top of the formation. He switched off his headlamp and rolled onto his back, drenched in sweat, more spent than ever. The night had grown oppressively cold. Caelan was shivering, and mist was emanating from his nose with every exhale. The cold rock itself was sapping his body heat. Lying there, still and exposed, was costing him dearly. Whatever it was that spooked him, though, was gone. All was tranquil. Caelan turned onto his stomach and peered down. He switched on his headlamp. He stared longingly at the rolled mountaineering jacket, sleeping bag, and tent strapped to his pack. He shouldn't have abandoned his gear, much less after removing his mountaineering jacket while trudging through the interior, beginning to overheat. Abandoning his gear in a panic had been a stupid move, yet something typical of him. It's why Dad insisted that he always remain calm. Always calm. Believe it. When was he going to learn? Caelan secured his belay and abseiled halfway down. He hung on the line clumsily, labouring to scope the area. The rock formation and trees obscured most of the moonlight. His headlamp was dimming. He had to change the batteries. But nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He abseiled all the way to the ground. Before he could grab his gear, mist emanated from a nearby boulder, beautiful, billowy, whiter than white, rising from pitch black. Caelan stared at it, frozen. He was forcing his eyes to discern what it was. It wasn't a boulder. He couldn't move, even as he finally discerned the mist to be emanating from a huge, diabolically incensed snout. It charged. Caelan scrambled back up the rock formation as it rose onto its hind legs and leapt at him. It clawed the soles of his boots as it smashed into the rock. Caelan arrested his fall by holding onto the line for dear life. He frantically resumed climbing. It did it all over again and again, smashing violently into the vertical rock, unable to climb up after him. Caelan eventually crawled onto the top in hysterics. It tore at the rock formation until its claws penetrated the rock itself. It began climbing. Caelan got off belay and fumbled down the opposite side. When most of the way down, he jumped and hit the ground running. He snaked around trees and boulders, leapt over downed logs, dove into dense shrubbery, crawled through and resumed his frantic sprint. The pursuing growls were devolving into a macabre dissonance of seething, diabolic fury, like some overture of death.